Well, hey everybody, let me get a cup of coffee here, and you'll see a picture come up, and you'll be wondering what the heck am I about to talk about. So hang on, let me get a cup of coffee. Brazilian. I had some good coffee. Why am I showing you a picture of a SIBO upright G4 essential vacuum cleaner? Well, the job that I do is a very commercialized place, and the stuff that I pick up, there's no way in heck that I could pick it up all by hand. And a lot of the vacuum cleaners that I had before, well, to say the least, a lot of them vacuum cleaners couldn't pick it up either without killing themselves. And so I thought, I can't be the only one that has these needs. So I started doing some research, and I found this channel called Performance Review. And this guy, he pulls no punches. And he showed what this SIBO vacuum cleaner, and they're really neat. I mean, why I'm comparing both of these companies is just there's so similarities in the way they do things, even though they're in two different fields. Okay, I'll give you an example. Mine is an upright, unless you get the canisters. But if you get, like, in the SIBO line, if you get a Dart, a Felix, or any of the upright SIBO vacuum cleaners, they all use the same brush. But they have different brushes for different carpets. But they all use the same brush. They all come out basically the same way. They all can be dishwashed. So at work, I cut the hair off or anything that gets tangled in the brush, and then I just spray it with some soap, wash it off, and let it dry off. And I think so. The other similarities, okay, so that's the similarity. Here's the similarity with the STROMER e-bike. Unless you go all the way up to ST7, all the STROMER e-bikes, other than the 36 volt ST1, but once you get the ST1 reloaded, all the STROMER e-bikes use the same battery until you get the ST7. They all use a Rosenberg connection, a smart system. The batteries work in every bike except the ST7. They'll even work. I could take, this blew my mind, that I could take my battery and put it in an old 6 volt system, and it'll down the volts down because of the smart connection, or say like a firmware update, and it'll put the battery to a 6 volt state. So that's pretty genius. Another thing that STROMER did was, and this is one of the reasons why I bought the STROMER e-bike, was the claim that you can ride this e-bike all year. I've heard other e-bikes claim that, and kind of falls short of, like, well, yeah, you can ride in the rain technically, but we really don't want you to. When I got the STROMER e-bike, it was like, yeah, you can ride in the rain, you can ride in the snow, just don't drive it in a lake or a pond. And I thought, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. So, but similarities there. I thought that was really cool. Another thing that's cool about the STROMER e-bike, like I was saying about the God, I kind of lost track. How, dang it. Bear with me here for a second. So when I was looking at it and all these claims, but when I would see people review like other e-bikes and it would start raining, they'd be like, oh, we're just going to wait a little while. But every time I see a review or STROMER e-bike, if it was raining, they took it out. If it was snowing, they took it out. It never seemed to matter what the weather was like. You took it out and rode it. But the other ones were like, oh, it's got all this power, and it's got all this range. And then it's like, well, it's raining. Well, we'll wait until it stops raining. It's kind of like It's Always Sunny in Philly. it seems like that's the thing I hear that always sunny when you're riding an e-bike, and it's like, look, in the real world, it's not always going to be sunny. I used to ride a motorcycle, and there'd be times I'd ride in the summertime to work, and possibility of a thunderstorm, but it's not really going to hit you, and it might be an hour before you go home, and it's just pouring rain, and it's like, as a person that used to ride motorcycles, that's the one thing you have to just deal with. It's just like sometimes you're gonna get caught out in it unexpectedly, and sometimes you're not gonna unexpectedly get caught in it. But to be like, well, there's a possibility of rain, well, I'm not gonna ride it. Well, then there's always a possibility of it raining. So for it to not be able to ride a bike just because it's gonna rain or because it might snow, to me, it just kind of makes me think, well, what good is it? And that's why I like the similarities of the warranty and the way that you can diagnose the STROMER e-bike, and you can diagnose the vacuum cleaner and get it fixed and get parts, good customer service. Another thing I like about the STROMER, it has a diagnostic tool in the Omni, basically a scan tool, so you can test every electrical component on it, and you can work on it just like you can with the SIBO vacuum cleaner. And I like that both companies have this we want a product that the customer is going to, I want to say appreciate, I appreciate it, but actually wants to buy another. Just like I did. I bought another STROMER, and I'm going to buy another SIBO. And the thing is, I think both these companies really care about the product, and I think they want people to keep coming back to buy their bike, and SIBO to keep buying their vacuum cleaners because they know that it'll last. And to buy a budget e-bike that's no good, if you're just getting into e-bikes, you might be thinking like, oh, well, all e-bikes catch on fire. All e-bikes are the same. They're all junk and they're overpriced. And some are. Some are overpriced for junk, and some of them, for what you get, are really good value. And so I just wanted to put them two companies together. I'll leave links, and I hope this wasn't too boring of a video. I'll be going out for a ride tomorrow. You guys stay warm. Don't worry, I will. I love the cold. All right, bye.
Speak to and ask questions and all these things, a relationship afterwards. And but all the small shops are.